Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
Welcome to this episode of Touched and Empowered. I am Katie here with Ace. Hi. Just like, hi.
I'm here.
We're here. And today's episode is pretty much come as you are.
Yes.
And of course, Midnight is putting in their 2 cents as well.
She is my big giant dog. She's almost 6 months. Yeah. So as we are today, I saw Katie's hair and I was like, well, that looks luscious.
I am actually wearing my hair down today. And I normally don't wear my hair down because it's curly. And I find it to be a pain in the butt. But today I felt like wearing it down. And I appreciate that because I was very tempted to get it like chopped off. Like chopped short. But I know the shorter my hair is, the curlier it gets. So I'm like arguing as to whether it's worth to go super curly or whether just to leave it long and just throw it up in a ponytail.
There you go. I like it. And because of that, I was inspired to do the same hair.
Well, yes, your hair is down too, but it's not curly.
No, I've been like, this dog. It was funny because I was telling my mom, I'm like, this dog is like motherhood. And she's like, it's worse. I'm like, what? You mean? She's like, the dog grows bigger than an infant. And I went, okay, you got a point. Got a point.
I don't know if it's worse, but it's definitely different. And I only because as a mom, and I was previously a dog owner. It is like having a child, but there are some nuances. There are some differences.
Oh, yeah, as we are. Explain as you can tell, coming as we are in this episode, my version of that is, all right, I'm going to let my dog free. And we're going to do our best to challenge ourselves and keep focused during this podcast as my dog is around us, as we are.
Which that totally relates to parenthood when you have a toddler, which you said Midnight was about 6 months. So that equivalent toddler behavior.
Toddler, more like 7 years old. She just lost her first tooth.
Aww. Those are big moments. Those are big parent moments.
It was. I was scared. I just saw this stream of blood come from her mouth, and I was like, ah! Then I saw the teeth, and I was like, oh, like, oh my girl.
I will say, I at least no longer have the box that had all of Austin's baby teeth in it and the first curl that was cut from his head. Because I was very, not necessarily romanticizing the idea, but I was very attached to keeping as many artifacts of my son growing up as I could. And I'm calling them artifacts because not only was there that box that I no longer have the box that has every single piece of artwork that he created for me since he could pick up a pencil. And the box that had all of his school paperwork in it has been condensed down to only hold the report cards. I am not kidding you. I could have had a whole storage unit full of stuff that Austin has created in his lifetime.
Wow. Speaking of creating, have you heard of this app called Impulse?
No.
So there is a fee to pay like $28 for a full year of having this app, right?
Okay.
And big thing about me is I love waking up. Yes, I do chant, and then yes, I do some like affirmations in my morning routine and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I also listen to like that recording, that affirmation recording in the morning, and I usually need some type of phone game to kind of like preoccupy my mind while I listen to it.
You need
And
something to do with your hands while you're listening to it. I get it.
exactly. And I had like these two games that I would play, and I was getting really bored. Then I came across Impulse, and the games are very good for your mental health, actually. So they're like relaxing games, puzzle games. There's games to help exercise your attention and your memory.
Oh, nice.
It's like well-being phone games, not like Candy Crush. Like this,
That infamous Candy Crush.
yeah. This is like okay, you can if you want to work on your focus. There's a game for that.
Right.
Right. And then they also have like different types of tests. So I did an IQ test. They have like a quick IQ test, an advanced IQ test,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, cool, and I got it, and I was just like,
Wow.
I thought, with ADD, I'm just like, oh, eh. But ADD actually isn't what measures your intelligence, apparently.
Well, no, your attention is not what measures your intelligence. It really depends on the test and the, um, I want to say the way that the test is laid out, because there are some people that are incredibly smart, but they really suck at taking tests.
Yeah. And or the reverse. And it's funny. So the test, the way that came about was like it's like different types of I would say illustrations, and then you have to guess the illustration piece at the end based off of what's illustrated. Very interesting. It's like a really interesting puzzle thing.
Hmm.
When I was playing it, the first time I played it, I was like not really sure what was going on, and you got I think 51 out of 60 right. You were 83%. You scored 83% higher than most people who have this app. And I went, cool.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, the grade they gave me was superior. And it was funny because I was just reading it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They're like, you're superior, but you're not gifted. And I went,
Let me guess, your competitive streak came out. Let me prove you
ooh,
wrong.
ooh, I got strong. Okay, let's hold for a second. Let me put my puppy away. Here, the competitive streak came out, and I went, I'm what now? And then I did the quicker IQ test, and I scored gifted. And then I read the message, and it was like, yes, you scored about 90 something percent higher than most people on the app, but not as high as people that are very gifted. And I was like, all right, no, I see what you're doing.
You saw that they were just trying to push you to try and do more.
I was like, all right, well, I'll take the advanced IQ test next week then. Let's see.
Well, that at least gives you a chance to try some of the other games and everything else on there. So then that way you have a little bit better understanding on how they do the work that they're doing.
Yeah, and what I've noticed about it too is like I usually have a lot of mental chatter, right?
Yep.
And when you're exercising, when you're using your brain to exercise some of these essentially games, but they are mental exercises, right?
Right.
I noticed that my mental chatter has gone way down.
Which is nice.
It is really nice, and I was really hesitant to do it. You know, who pays $28 for a phone app? I don't. I know it's for the year, and if you think about it, like you're paying $9.99 for what for your Apple Music or Spotify every month, which is $120 for the year. But at immediate glance, I was like, you know
I,
what?
I'm just gonna smile and nod at the whole how much we pay for subscriptions for apps on our phones, because I will admit that I pay for one that is $50 a year, and it is a coloring app.
Hey, that's fair.
It's relaxing.
That's fair. It helps. My mental chatter just went like way down.
Yeah. So if it's beneficial, as long as you have it in your budget, now if you're randomly paying for subscriptions and then forgetting about it, and then all of a sudden they renew and you're like, oh crap, I can't pay my bills. That's something completely different.
Yeah, I've become really disciplined about that.
Yeah, I have reminders on my calendar to remind me when my yearly renewals for stuff come up. So then that way they remind me like 30 days before the renewal happens. So then that way I can make sure that, okay, yes, I want to keep this. No, I don't.
That's interesting. Yeah, anything that I have a year subscription on, like I manage it through my phone. So you know how Apple has like all of that kind of laid out for you. You can actually see that. And I'm very, very well versed in making sure that I know where that's at because it's such a butt to like to have that renewal hit you and you're like, where did the $40 go?
Yeah, where did that money go? But you see, I do have a iPad, but I am an Android phone girl.
Okay.
So I'm sure Google has got some kind of setting to remind you before a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription comes up. I have not always caught those notifications in the past, which is why I now choose to put it on my calendar. So then I don't forget.
Yeah, that's great.
So I set my own notifications because those automatic ones, I don't know if it's just I've tuned them out
Well, it's funny.
or if I turned them off by accident without even realizing it. Who knows?
Yeah, well, it is pretty funny. I used to do that. I used to put a notification on and then I would just cancel that like 3 or 4 days prior to. My
Mhm.
decision making has gotten faster. So that's kind of been where I'm like, oh, let me try this app now. If I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna try it now and see if I really, really think I'm gonna start using it every day or every year.
Right. Yeah, because I've got had the situation to where I've paid for like a yearly subscription for something and then I've only used it, say, for like the first 2 weeks,
Right.
and then I don't use it anymore. And I'm like, that hurts my wallet.
Exactly.
That hurts my brain now because I'm like,
Well, it's funny because like I understand that completely. There are certain things that I paid for in advance where I'm like, I didn't need to pay for that because I'm only going to use it once or twice. You know how I figured out I was going to keep Impulse?
how?
I love personality tests. The fact that they had nine,
Nine?
they have like nine.
Nine different personality tests?
So it's not just personality, but it also like assesses your trauma response. It assesses your ADD. It assesses like it has a few of these different types of things that you can assess your IQ. I was like, this is great. And then not only the personality tests, they're only 5 to 7 minutes long. They're not like
Oh, okay, so they're not the ones that take like 30 plus some odd minutes, like some of these other personality and archetype tests that I have taken.
exactly. It's only within like a short amount of time that you take these assessments, and they're kind of fun. Because they kind of reintroduce you to like, oh, this habit. Let's address that. What is it from a 1 to 5? And I went, that's a 5.
Yeah.
That's a 2. And like you can be honest about it, which is nice. And then the other part was like I went to like they have levels per game.
There's your competitive streak again.
Oh my it, at the end of it, they're like sometimes the games will say that you have scored 99% higher than most people on the app.
Right.
And then the moment it goes down to like 43, I have to play again. Like
No, I need to keep being this top overachiever.
I can't help it. And it's like my own like no one's gonna judge the app's not judging me. I'm
Right. The app's not judging you. The app is just keeping you informed, and you are choosing to better your best. We'll look at
Exactly.
it that way. You are bettering your best. You are not competing with anyone else. You are just bettering your best.
Exactly. I went within 30 minutes, I played like 20 levels. Like that's how I knew I was keeping it.
And that makes perfect sense. And I do like the idea of, you know, recognizing what types of features that it has that that you're going to come back to it for this, that, or the other thing. Some of these ones that I've purchased, they have features that I like, but for some reason after 2 weeks, I'm just not drawn to them anymore.
Yeah, this has more than like 15 types of games. Oh,
Yeah.
15 games. And then they're all categorized based off of the purpose. Like, do you want to work on your attention? Do you want to work on your
Right.
focus? Do you want to work on your math skills? Do you want to work on do you want something relaxing? Because,
So,
um,
I mean, so that one sounds like it's very well-rounded.
it is. I like it a lot. And then it helps me assess where my skills are at. Because
Right.
to be fair, phone games or any type of game, too much of a good thing can become a problem. But when
Yeah,
you're
everything in moderation. We've heard
yeah,
that many times before.
yeah, but games like phone games, I think we've talked about this. They actually do help with your skill sets when you're in a fun way. You kind of like do the muscle memory in one area, and then you bring it over to like let's say work or something like that.
I think it's the muscle memory and the ability to focus that we learn through gaming. But again, I have seen where it's like, oh, I'm just going to be on here for 5 minutes, and then 5 hours later, nothing else has gotten done because you're still playing games or scrolling through social media or doing whatever.
Right.
So for me, it's more of a let me set a timer. And it could be whether I'm scrolling social media, scrolling YouTube, playing a game on my phone, playing a game on my computer, or just putting on some music and crocheting for a while. If I don't set that timer, I lose track of time.
Yeah.
And I can't afford to lose track of time because I've got projects that need to get done. I've got work that needs to get done. I've
Also,
got laundry that needs to be done.
that's true. It's funny. Fridays is our laundry days. I've learned that with Katie and I. We both do laundry today, and it's usually right next to us, waiting to be folded as we're
Yeah,
doing.
it in my case, I did not do laundry today, so I'm going to be doing it tomorrow.
Totally.
I got up this morning and I had to go to the dentist, so I did not do laundry today.
Folks, if you get a dog,
You're
you
doing a lot of laundry.
one will do a lot of laundry, but you won't lose track of time.
That's true.
Yeah, because that was something I started acknowledging was the fact that so I have a puppy, right? The first year of having a puppy, you feed your dog 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, lunch, evening. You
Right.
normally 6 hours, right? And you keep that routine. If you don't keep the routine, your dog can have really bad anxiety spurts.
Yes.
And you saw how big my dog is. And the sanity that I can mitigate risk to losing, I do it.
Well, I mean, when Austin was younger, we had a set routine. We eat breakfast at this time before school. You have your lunch hour at school. We eat dinner as a family at this time. We had that set schedule. When he got older, then it was more of a choice for him as to whether he wanted to keep that schedule or change it. Now it's like he eats when he's hungry. I'm not going to force him to eat on a schedule if he's not hungry anymore.
Yeah, if my dog could talk to me like that,
Hmm. That's
maybe
the difference between a fur baby and a human baby.
yes, the human babies have choice and then they become their own selves and they can like take care of themselves. Dogs, on the other hand, so
They need you to keep that schedule for them.
keep the schedule, but also like my dog knows her schedule. Like she's
Yeah.
like, it's time, wake up. Like,
Yeah. It reminds me of 101 Dalmatians,
yeah,
where Pongo's like at the door right when it's time for Roger to stop working so they could go for their walk in the park.
that's my dog. That's like, she knows right now. Like, it was funny before going into her crate, she was confused because she usually goes into her crate right now.
Right.
She looked at me, she was like, what? And then when I put her in her crate, she looked at me again and I went, yep. And she was like, okay. And then she went in because she knows.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart dog.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think having that sense of schedule and that sense of routine is beneficial for everyone on some level. You don't have, it doesn't have to be like every 10 minutes you know exactly what you're doing throughout the day. But at least have the general, this is what I do the first 20 minutes that I'm awake. This is what I do in the middle of the day. This is what I do the 20 minutes before I go to sleep. Those kinds of little micro routines does make life a little bit easier with getting you up and moving in the morning, as well as letting you wind down at night.
exactly. And another big thing for me, like for instance, one thing that I've kept ever since I became an entrepreneur, and it hasn't changed within like the first 6 months, was I don't take meetings before 11:30 unless it's real, like just rarely, unless it's like that important. Because I know me, I'll either miss it by accident
Right.
or like I'll start building resentment towards the person.
Well, yeah, we've talked about it before. Your morning routine is, how shall we say, in depth.
Yeah.
You have a lot of personal stuff that you do during your morning routine that you do for self-care. There's nothing wrong with that. And you coordinate your schedule accordingly so then that way you have that time in the morning.
Yeah, that way I'm good for my meetings when I'm with
Right.
somebody. Because if I'm
Because
not,
then you're focused, you're not hungry, you're not thirsty, you're a wide awake versus I'm still learning what my morning routines are. And we've talked about that before that I started with no morning routine. It was up, brush the teeth, wash the face, brush the hair, get on the computer, start working. Yeah, no, that is not a healthy way to start my day. So it's gotten better.
that's good. Yeah. And another thing is like, I also give myself a good amount of allowance too. That's starting at 11:30. To, let's say, the night before I just couldn't sleep. Like
Right.
sometimes I can't, for whatever reason, I can't sleep till 3 or something, and I have no idea why. And I need the sleep, and then I can wake up at 9 in the morning and still get everything I need done by the time I get to meet with somebody at 11:30. Like things like that.
Yeah. Giving yourself that kind of leeway, it's like putting it in your schedule that you have 30 minutes between phone calls or 30 minutes between meetings. So then that way you have time to get up, get something to drink, go to the bathroom, check the mail, do whatever it is that you need to do before you have to hop on your next phone call.
Exactly. And it's actually, those 30 minutes are so, like, a lot of people sometimes they cram their schedule and go back, 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 back. Great. You can do that. You can build to that. A lot of people do it.
I've done it before and I found that I work better if I have at least 15 minutes. I prefer 30, but if I have at least 15 minutes between calls, I can finish up any last tasks on the call that I just finished and then center myself and be prepared with what's needed for the next call.
And it's good for efficiency and focus. Those 30 minutes are like what I've noticed for myself. It changes from person to person. But what I've noticed, the 15 minutes prior to, great, you have breathing room.
Mm-hmm.
But the other 15 minutes like really helps to put you into center. And
Right.
then you can even like go, okay, what do I need? I didn't forget anything. I've prepped what I need. All right, I have it in front of me, and those 30 minutes are pretty crucial for any meeting that you come up that comes next. Now, if I'm giving readings to people, 30 minutes isn't enough.
Yeah, there are some things that you need additional time to close out, so to speak, before you hop onto your next task or your next phone call or whatever it is.
Rejuvenate, because
Yep.
sometimes, yeah, because sometimes there are things that like it almost depletes your energy a lot. Not
Right.
and you need that hour to just pull back your stuff so that you have enough energy to still have that A quality efficiency for the next person. And it is really important to have that. Um,
And I think that comes from testing out what works for you
yeah, and your goals.
and your goals. Yes.
So um minding your goals, right? Like for instance, Katie and I, we've set goals for the year. Um, we're gonna revisit them.
Well, yeah, we're going to revisit them because I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. And that's fine
And that's why we have a
because
review.
yeah, and that's why we take one of these quote unquote recording sessions, and instead of recording, we talk about what's going on, what's worked, what didn't work, how can we tweak this, who's going to do what, so to speak.
Yeah. And that's
Because things change and the plan that we had 6 months ago doesn't necessarily apply now.
right. But the aim is still important, like the efficiency, being able to have
Right.
the X, Y, and Z ready. How many pre-recorded episodes do we have right now that are available to be launched?
I'd have to pull up the spreadsheet, but off the top of my head, I'd guess at least 20.
Right. So we can take a day because we've already had a bank of all of this stuff that we've
Right.
created. That goal was great. The fact that we have enough content basically to take a month off, which we have done.
Well, part of the reason that we did that was not only so we had time to do our scheduling of meetings and everything else like that, but we're human. We need vacations. You need to go visit family. I need to go visit family. Heaven forbid we're human and we get sick and are not willing to be seen on camera, or in my case, I lose my voice due to laryngitis and allergies, because that usually happens like once a year.
It was a very sexy voice.
Yes, I do remember that episode with me and my 800 phone number voice. Yeah.
But yeah, it is important because like so based off of your goals, right? Between X amount of time to when goal is done, it's also really important to allocate rest time and just time to
Yes.
just be. That way you know, we should account for the humanism in every goal too, right?
Yes.
Like what's going to be enjoyable, what's going to really just exhaust me. And right now, Katie and I look like our hair, as we are. Like,
As we are. Yes. Well,
yeah,
one of the things that I am starting to manage and starting to take focus on is celebrating the little wins and showing up for the podcast before Ace gets on in the Zoom room and I'm already decked out, ready to go. Is woohoo, that's a win in Katie's book, because normally Ace is, well, 99% of the time Ace is better dressed than I am. I'm just going to put that out there.
I don't know about also.
You are the fashionista of this team. I am sorry to say.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to commend everyone who's ever given me clothing because
It's
they
all with love, honey.
I literally I thought about it today. It did come with love, and I really appreciate that. Did I tell you this one woman gave me about 10 grand worth of clothing that fits me perfectly? Have I shared that with you?
I don't remember you telling me that.
I'm wearing one of her shirt. Yeah, so essentially, funny, I was actually telling somebody today, and I'm really grateful for this because I used to binge buy clothing. Like if
Right.
my bank account was dry, it was because of clothes, right? I've gotten really disciplined. I haven't bought clothing or accessories in the past 3 years,
Oh, wow.
right?
That is curbing a shopping, I'm gonna call it an addiction.
It was an addiction. I wanted everything. And I really held I pulled back because I
Mm,
was like, I need to focus on investing in these companies and creating these new foundations.
right.
Me taking a break from that $500 jacket that I've always wanted, we can hold off. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Right?
Well, honey, I'm learning that with technology.
Yeah, yeah. Well, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and practicing and whatnot. I got and this one woman called me and she was like, I have all these clothes that I was gonna donate, but you fit them. I was trying to fit them, and I have to stop. Otherwise, like, I really will be a hoarder. And I was like, that's not nice. She's like, and she said it verbatim. I am a hoarder. I don't like
Right.
saying that. It's like a spell to me. I'm not. I'm
Right.
not. But she said that to me, and I'm like, no way. I got to her place to try on the clothes. I came home with 8 like garbage bags clothing that fits me perfectly to a T. Like I just put most of it in I like actually organized them by season recently and put them on
Right.
my shelves. But prior to that, I had like a basic set of clothes. I just had like maybe one pair of jeans, like basic t-shirts because I was so used to traveling that I learned just live light
Yep.
until this woman gave me all of it. Like these necklaces that you see over here, those were given to she gave me those.
Well, the beauty of it
Very grateful.
is that when we receive gifts from friends, family members, or the universe that feed our soul, because fashion is one of the things that feeds your soul,
Yes.
we are very grateful for it. And for me, I like to play with technology and stuff, but I also know that that can be very expensive. And as much as I would love to go out and buy the newest cell phone or the newest computer, I know it's going to be obsolete in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'm planning accordingly. I'm
And
planning accordingly.
yeah, like my mindset around money has completely just shifted because of the things like now I have like restorative like faith that whatever I need will come to me when I need it. Like
Right.
it's just as long as I keep committing to what I'm doing and what we're doing and how we're like encouraging people and keeping people happy and whatnot. Oh my goodness. Like I don't remember the coins that I found for my rent. I was like, how
Yep.
is I found another one by the way. But like
I am so happy that you are like randomly finding coins around your place that's helping you take care of everything that you need to take care of. It's like me saying that I need to buy something for my house, and then I open up a random closet and I find exactly what it is that I'm looking for. My house is providing me with the stuff that I need, so I don't have to go to the store and buy more stuff.
I did something similar too where I was like, I need more food. And there's a pantry that I haven't reached in my apartment. I forgot that like and this is like grains and stuff. Like this isn't stuff that's like expired like it expired now.
Right.
So but like
It's
I
something
found
with a long shelf life. Yes.
like olive oil that I didn't know because I'm too short to notice it was there. My mom organized my shelves when she came to visit me, and I had no clue that the rice was up there.
My mom does that too. What is it with parents wanting to reorganize our kitchens when they come visit?
Yeah, it's so because I was like really nervous about going and buying. I don't know why. I was like, I could buy this much amount of food. I want more food. I see this like rice, olive oil, like lentils. I'm like, that was there? Like,
Thank you. Thank you, House, for showing it to me. I appreciate it.
right? Thank you. And the clothes. Oh, I'm grateful for the clothes. Somebody else. I get like a new set of clothing almost every week nowadays. It's been instead of the giant 10 grand, I get like 5 or 6 new outfits now because people are like, I don't know what the people are just like, oh, I have these clothes. You would look great in it. And it's like a pattern. People are like, I'd love to see you in it. Here it is. I'm like, oh, thanks. It's mine now? Okay.
Thank you.
Like I got 6 dresses within the past month.
Oh my goodness.
I got an entire set of Lululemon workout clothing 4 days ago. I'm very grateful.
Yes. And I think that one of the things that we have discovered is coming as ourselves, coming as you are, as we started out the beginning of this episode, really does allow the opportunity for gratitude and abundance and for things to just fall into our laps when we need them.
Yeah, yeah. And definitely being sincere. Sincerity is incredibly powerful when you're able
Yes.
to flow genuinely as yourself, but through sincerity, yeah, the things fall onto your lap. I think there's something else that fell into my lap recently. Like, and by the way, yes, this is the secret, folks. Like, I'm not doing this because I'm just lucky. That's not not necessarily it. Because then you can do this too. So,
Right.
for instance, when you sincerely care about others, yourself too. Yes, you have to keep yourself sustained and taken care of and treasure your own life. Yes, but when you're able to impart that upon others, that's when the universe shakes down everything. It's pretty amazing.
It is. And on that note, we are going to have to wrap up this episode because we are coming up on time.
Okay.
So, what's your parting words for this one?
My parting words are this is a coloring. When I need to relax, I color. So
Absolutely.
yes, mandalas specifically. By Albert Einstein, it has a philosophical quote.
Ooh, quotes. Okay.
A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new.
I like it. So, challenge for the week is to try something new.
Yeah, well, challenge and be as you are, right? Seriously, make mistakes. It doesn't matter. Don't put on a pretense. I think it's really important that you do things that are natural to you, so that as you keep moving in that genuine natural state, you'll live a happier life versus putting on a mask.
Agreed. I agree. It's all about being happier.
Oh, I'm just saying.
So, on that note, thank you everyone for listening to us this week, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.